Hi everyone, welcome back to class. In today's video, we will see what is a local variable in Java. A local variable is defined within a method or constructor or a block of code, and a local variable is having the scope only within that particular block, method, or a constructor. So let me explain you with an example. So here I have taken the class name as predefined methods. So you can take any class name as you wish. And so here I am taking the method name as revenge. So it is a non-static method because I am not using static keyword here, right? So the variable that is declared inside the method revenge is known as local variable, and the local variable must be initialized or assigned with some value. So here I am assigning two value to the variable x. So here x is the local variable, okay, and you can access the local variable only within the method where you define the local variable. So here if you try to print the variable value, so you may get output as 2. Okay, so and to execute this particular block we need to call this method revenge at first, right? So as it is a non-static method, we need to create the object for the class predefined methods. Okay, so how to create an object? Class name that is predefined method followed by reference variable. Let me take reference variable as pm equals to new keyword used to create an object, then constructor which is having the same name as that of class name. Okay, so using the reference variable pm, I am calling the method revenge. So when you execute it, this particular revenge method gets called. So once this particular method gets called, it executes this particular block of code. So I have assigned the two value to the variable x. I'm trying to print the value of x. Okay, now if you execute it, you may get the output as 2. Okay, see, this is the output that is giving the x value as 2. Okay, so this is how we need to print the value of a local variable. And suppose if you do not initialize or assign the value to this particular local variable, and if you try to print it out, so you may get the error. See, let us try to execute it and see what's the output is. See, you got the output. What the output showing is the local variable x may not have been initialized. So the local variable must be initialized or assigned some value before trying to access or before trying to print. So this is the one condition that needs to be followed always. So the local variable must be initialized before trying to print or before trying to access. So this is the one condition that needs to be remembered. So we must assign some value or initialize some value to the local variable x here. Okay, and the other here x is the local variable to the method revenge, right? So this particular local variable is having the scope only within this particular method block. Okay, but if you want to try to access this particular local variable value outside this method revenge, you may get the output as error. See, with the reference variable pm, I am calling the another method print. So this is the method print. So when this particular method gets called, this particular statement gets executed. So what we are doing here is we are trying to print the value of a local variable, right? But you may get the error because x is the local variable and it is having the scope only within this particular block, but you are accessing it outside the method revenge. Okay, so now if you try to execute it, you may get the error. see See, you got the error. X cannot be resolved to a variable because x is the local variable. So you cannot access the local variable outside the method where you define the particular local variable. So this is the another condition that needs to be remembered. Okay, and one more thing, when a local variable is not initialized and if you try to access or if you try to print it out, you may get the error, right? But when we talk about the instance variable, even if you do not initialize and if you try to access the value of a instance variable, you may get the default value as 0. But in case local variable, we will be getting the error. Okay, these are the conditions need to be remembered. So this is the local variable, how it actually works. So we have seen the local variable using the methods, right? But now we'll see how a local variable actually works when it is defined inside the constructors. So the execution of Java code starts with main, right? So I'm creating the object for the class predefined methods using the new keyword. Okay, so the moment you create an object using the new keyword, the constructor predefined methods which is having the same name as that of class name gets called. So this is the default constructor which is having no arguments. So the moment you create an object, this particular predefined methods constructor gets called and execute whatever the statements you written inside this particular block. Okay, so here int x equals to 2. Okay, so here x is the local variable and it is having the scope within this particular constructor block. Okay, and if you try to access within this block the value of a local variable, you may get the output exactly. So let me run it. See, you got the output 2 for the variable x. Okay, and if you do not initialize the value to the local variable and if you try to get the value of x, you may get the error. See, the local variable x may not be initialized. So this we have seen just for the methods previously, right? So the local variable must be initialized. Okay, the local variable must be initialized, and if you try to access the local variable outside the method or the constructor where you are defined the local variable, you may get the error. See, with the reference variable pm, I am calling the method print. So the moment you call the method print using the reference variable pm, this particular method print gets called and execute this particular block of code. Okay, so what we are doing, we are trying to print the value of a x, but the x is a local variable. So the local variable is having the scope only within this particular constructor block. Okay, so but we are trying to access the value of a local variable from outside the method or the constructor where we have defined the local variable. So if you run it, you may get the error. See, you got the error. X cannot be resolved to a variable. So you cannot access or get the value of a local variable from outside the method or the constructor where you have defined the local variable. So this should not be done. Okay. So this is what about local variables in Java. So you can only able to access the value of a local variable within the method or the constructor where you have defined the local variable, and the local variable must be initialized before you access this. So this is what about local variables in Java. So this is all about today. Thanks for watching the video. Do like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.